Right, so what we're going to do now is obviously, if I could get to the hinges and all the wiring on the back, is actually take the power button cover off. Again, all you need to do is get a little screwdriver, take your time, get it underneath, pop it out. Once it pops out, you'll feel it on the back and the front. There's some little clips, and you'll hear them pop out as you pull it. I mean, you know, there is a certain little bit of force that you need to use, but as you see, once you get so far, it'll just pop. The whole thing will pop out. Some little clips on the front that pop in, and basically it just pops in the connections at the back. So again, once that's out, set it to one side. And basically, this is all just to get to the wiring where it comes into the hinges, because it's a bit tricky. Once you've got in, you can see that the wiring actually goes over the top of the hinges. I'm just gonna loosen the thing here, just so it's a bit more free moving. The wiring actually goes over the top of the hinges, and obviously, as you it actually had a broken cover and a broken hinge on this side. So what was happening is every time it was being used, it was just getting rubbed. So basically, it snapped through wear and tear, basically. And what I'm gonna do is put some heat shrink, like I said before, over that, and we'll get it sorted. Okay, the next thing we need to do then is take off the cover for the screen. And basically, there's right on the bottom, either corner, there's two screws. There's some little rubber bungs that you need to take off. The two on the bottom you don't need to take off because they just support. But there's 4 on the top that you need to take off. Again, all you need to do is, and I'm just going to set that away. Get a screwdriver, put it behind the bung, and just pull the little cover off. These are all cosmetic. You can actually buy these on eBay as well if you want to replace them. But like I say, it's all cosmetic. There's 2 of them that are flat to the screens, and there's the other 2 are raised. Obviously, they're bumper ones for when you put the screen down, so it's not hitting the front cover. Again, these screws are silver, so pick a new spot in your screw tray and take these out. Now when you come to the screen, some of the screws that's in the screen are the micro screws, the tiny little ones, so you need to be a bit more careful with them in case you don't put too much pressure on them, and make sure you get the right size screwdriver for it, so you don't strip the fronts, because they're quite delicate. The bottom screws in the corner are quite difficult to get to, so I suggest you put the screen at. Oops, nearly spilt my screw tray there. That's one of the things you need to be careful of. They're quite delicate, so what you need to do really is push the screen back quite far, just so you can get a screwdriver in, and just take your time again and release the screws. Now, because they're quite tight, sometimes they don't come out, they actually stay in the fascia until you've took the fascia out. But again, you can persevere. There's a bit of play in the board anyway, because you've took the bottom off. Just push the top down so you can get the screws out. See, I told you this one's going to be awkward. There we go, got it. Right, once you've done that, then the next thing, if you get it at the top, obviously where the catch is for the 2 catches on the screen there, if you get it roughly in the middle there, just pop the thingers where the camera is. Keep popping it up. When you get to a hinge, when you get to the catches, they're a bit trickier, so you need to be just a little bit careful. And be careful anyway, because it is quite sharp actually, and on more than one occasion I have give myself a slight paper cut. Just be careful, and just like I say, everything's about just being patient. Don't rush it, because I can guarantee if you rush it, then you'll break something that's going to cost you a fortune to fix. There is also, actually, before I go any further, on the bottom of the screen, I'm just going to zoom it in for you, just so you can see. Let's just on the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there's three silver screws, which I should have took out before, and I forgot to. I did tell you that there were silver screws, and the silver screws come out the bottom. This is for the bottom of the screen fascia, or the bezel, whatever you want to call it. Depends where you come from in the world, actually. We call it fascias. Everything in the UK is like a fascia for this and a fascia for that. But somebody somewhere in America called it a bezel. Again, just be careful. Unscrew them. I should have took them out before when I took the two corner ones out. And then you'll see, look, once they're out, again it just pops. These start popping out as soon as you get that off. The whole side will pop off. Don't use a screwdriver. Use your plectrum. This actual bezel's already broke on one side. I noticed this last time I took this off. Like I say, it looks as if this computer has been taken apart by numerous people over a period of time. I'll turn it upside down actually, because it's a bit easier that way. And of course, with all the bottom off and all the bits out, the actual all the working parts inside is lighter than the screen. And again, it's one of them things, just take your time, because I can guarantee if you hurry, you'll break it, or you'll break something. Sides off, and that's the good thing about the actual that's a good thing about the clips on the top, because once you get one side out, it automatically the opening clips for to open the screen go back, so it actually keeps that open for you. Around the corner, that's it. Like I say, it's actually this is already broke on one side, so and that's the only thing if you move one side, you've got to move the whole thing, because it gets stuck under the catches again. Right, the next thing, obviously, I mean, you've got to leave that for a little while, because the next thing really is to take the hinges off the board so you could get the screen out. Now, right in the corner, the hinges on the bottom where it actually goes into the screen, on the top here, there's actually a screw just here, and it's the same on both sides. So you need to take the screws off them hinges. Again, set them aside. And where the wire goes through the hinges, again, to get the bezel off so you can actually see the speakers, you need to take the main hinges away. It's quite a difficult, the way they put it together is quite difficult to get things off. There's actually no gap for the plastic cover, so you just need to be a bit patient. Again, well, I know I keep saying it, but it is one of the things that that makes it able to get it out. And again, open the screen, or open the computer. If you open it like I've done, put it against your chest, open it, lift these back bits up. There's just enough room, and I mean just enough room, to actually get the front bezel off, or the front fascia off. Again, set that to one side. Right, what we're looking at now then is obviously the where the speakers go into the screen compartment. There's the speakers actually pop out quite easy. They're actually covered with a rubber surround. The problem you've got is that obviously there's all the other wires that's in there, so you need to be a bit careful. Just feed it along. Again, which is something I recommend, is get your phone out or whatever. Just take a quick picture of how the wires were in. And then you can take out, as you can see from this, I'll just zoom in for you there.